here on Facebook, YouTube, and Riverside.fm. And also to anyone who's listening to this not on the live stream but on Spotify after I upload this. This is a special live stream episode of Matt's World Wrestling with Comics. And once again, this is my world and you all just live in it. I sent I sent a video to Instagram telling people that I would be doing a live stream immediately after Raw. Originally, I wasn't going to do it after Raw, but what happened was I had to do some grocery shopping and that put things out of whack, and plus I didn't want to miss Monday Night Raw. So I said to myself, you know what? Maybe I'll do a live stream. So that's what I'm doing right now. I am doing a live stream immediately right after Monday Night Raw. So there you go. And we're going to get in first to what happened on Monday Night Raw in case you all missed it. We had Damage Control defeat Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Of course, before that, we had Jey Uso. Yep, Jey Uso come out, yeet in, and as he went to go yeet for the second time, Gunther came out and beat the snot out of him and told him, don't do it, Jey, don't do it. And then Jey got on the microphone and said, Gunther, me and you, WrestleMania. So it is official. Main event, Jey Uso will take on Gunther for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So that means the winner of the men's Elimination Chamber will go on to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. And I already put in my prediction. I think John Cena's going to win this one. I think John's going to win, and he's going to go on, and he will take on Cody at at WrestleMania. I mean, Cena versus Cody. That's got to be the match that has to happen. I mean, it has to happen. I mean, that's a great way for John to get his 17th title is by having, the dream match. I mean, that's really one of the dream matches people have talked about, and even Cody Rhodes a while back, said that one of his dreams was to wrestle John Cena. So it looks like we might be getting that match. And I really do hope that we do get that match because two of my favorites, going at it, for the WWE Championship. I mean, how could you not want to see that match? I mean, anyone who says that they don't want to see that match, I mean, they are not wrestling fans. I mean, you are not a real wrestling fan if you don't want to go see Cena versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, because to me that is gonna be the ultimate dream match, and I cannot wait to see that. So, anyways, Damage Control defeated Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and Liv Morgan, she took a nasty bump, and I think it was I think it was the kick. Now I think about it, yeah, I think it was the kick, that big kick that Io did to her, and now she's gonna be now she's going to be I mean, she was busted open. She got busted open. I mean, she got busted open right here on her eye, right there, and I mean, after the match, when they did the segment, yeah, the behind the scenes segment. I mean, you should have seen her, man. I mean, jeez, it looked like she had. I mean, with all the blood and stuff. I mean, you know, some of the blood still on her face. I mean, looked like she had a bad rash. Jeez. But kudos to Liv Morgan, man. She really toughed it out, man. She toughed it out there. And after the match, we had Mommy, Rhea Ripley. She went to uh, Adam Pierce, and the Monday Night Raw after the Elimination Chamber, we are getting Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the WWE Women's World Championship. And Rhea's gonna win this. Okay, Rhea's gonna win this. She's gonna go into WrestleMania as the champion, and that's nothing against Io Sky. I mean, I know some people are probably gonna think, oh, but it's Io's time. You know, we should have Io and beat Rhea, or some have said that maybe we were gonna get Rhea and Io Sky at WrestleMania. That's not gonna happen. I mean, I think Rhea's gonna face either Charlotte Flair, even though it kind of looks more like Charlotte and Tiffany are gonna go at it, or we're gonna get Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed on Becky Lynch coming back for WrestleMania. I think that would be the match. Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. The rematch at WrestleMania. I mean, I think that one. I mean, that's got to be the match. That has to be the match. But we'll see. We'll see. And also, Bailey qualified for the Women's Elimination Chamber. She defeated Lyra Valkyria. And that was a hard fought match. It was a real tough match. And, that was just it was just an awesome match. I mean, what more can you say? I mean, it was an incredible match. And, you know, Bailey and Lyra, they had some good chemistry there. And of course, afterwards, I forget the girl's name. The girl in American Made, I keep forgetting her name, but she talks some shit to Lyra Valkyria about winning the Women's Intercontinental title. And looks like we're going to be getting that match soon. And of course, they're going to keep the belt on Lyra. I don't think they're going to take it off her anytime soon. I think they're going to keep the belt on her for a while, even after WrestleMania. And speaking of which, we had the Viking Raiders taking on the Creed brothers for the World Tag Team titles, and the Creed brothers got themselves disqualified, hitting them with the belts. And it was more, they said it was like more so to send a message. I mean, like, well, why would they want to send a message when they could have just won the titles? They could have won the tag team titles. I mean, I don't know where this is going to go, but, well, we'll wait and see. And we also had Seth Rollins and Finn Balor in a promo, which was excellent. It was out in the stands where Jackie Redmond was, and that was incredible. And can't wait for their match next week. Yep, their match is going to be next week, so can't wait for that one. And I say Seth Rollins wins this one. Yeah, I think Seth Rollins is going to be in. He's going to be in there for sure. Yeah, he's going to be in there because CM Punk is in there. So, yeah, they're definitely going to build towards that for WrestleMania. I mean, the word is that there's going to be there might be a triple threat match between Punk, Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. I mean, that could possibly be happening, or it could be CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. I mean, personally, I would make this a four-way. I would make it a four-way dance, just a four-way hardcore match. Just four guys just going at it, no holds barred. Just beating the ever-loving shit out of each other. But again, that's one of those things where we'll see what happens. I mean, we all know Punk and Rollins, they're not going to WrestleMania. Oh, I mean, they will go to WrestleMania, but they won't be in the match with Cody Rhodes. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. But we could get a three-way dance or a four-way dance. So we'll see what happens. And also CM Punk, also cut a promo. Logan Paul came out, cut a promo on him, and Punk said, okay, get past Rey Mysterio, and then we'll see you in Toronto where I'll put you to sleep. Rey Mysterio came out, him and Logan Paul tore it down. I mean, just a great match, and and Logan Paul also got bloodied as well. He busted up his nose. Yeah, I think he might have had his nose broken in that match. There was blood coming out of his nose. But nonetheless, Logan Paul won with the titanium right hand, and also his new move called the Pulverizer. And what it is, the Pulverizer, it was the debut of it. Um, he put Ray in a back suplex position, flipped him up, flipped him over, and turned around, caught him, boom, DDT. So, I mean, that's a cool move, actually. That's a cool move, the Pulverizer. I like that. I like that move. And Logan Paul, he's getting up there, man. I mean, he has been showing without a doubt that he definitely belongs in WWE, and he's a phenomenal wrestler. Just phenomenal. Oh, speaking of phenomenal, AJ Styles also came back. Uh, yeah, AJ Styles came back, cut a promo. Dominic and Carlito came and interrupted him, and then there was an attack. And next week we're getting Dominic and AJ Styles. So that should be a terrific match. And also after Logan Paul's match with Rey Mysterio, the New Day beat up Rey Mysterio. So yeah, this feud is going on, and well, we're gonna we'll see what happens. Maybe this will lead to a WrestleMania match, or maybe you might get Rey Mysterio and a member of LWO um, on Monday Night Raw next week. So we'll see what happens there. So now we got that out of the way for Monday Night Raw. Um, Moving on with more wrestling news. Uh, WWE wrestlers were released this week. This is the list. Of course, you all know this, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on each and every one of them. First off, the Authors of Pain. This is really sad because, Authors of Pain, when they first came in, they tore it up in NXT, then on the main roster, but then they weren't being used as much, and then they got cut, and then they were brought back. They were in the faction with Paul Ellering and Karrion Kross, and I mean they haven't been seen on TV in a while, but I really thought that was going somewhere, and I really thought AOP could have rose into the ranks to become like you know tag team champions. I mean I felt like this team could have been like the new Road Warriors, but unfortunately that was not to happen, and they got released. So my guess is they'll probably wind up in. I don't see them winding up in AEW, but I can see them in Japan. Yeah, I could probably see them in Japan. And also, another member from that faction with Karrion Kross, Paul Ellering. Yes, Paul Ellering, the legendary manager, he was also let go. Not too surprised, but he's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I know the Road Warriors were in the Hall of Fame. Let me go and check and see if he's in the Hall of Fame here. Just typing this up real quick. But I mean, if he isn't in the Hall of Fame by now, I mean, but he's still a legend. I mean, oh yeah, he was in the Hall of Fame. Yep, he was in the Hall of Fame along with the Road Warriors and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes Daddy. But yeah, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, so I mean, his career, his legacy is already cemented. So, I mean, if he never comes back on WWE television again, I mean, nobody will be too surprised. I mean, at this point, he really has nothing to prove. I mean, he tried, he really tried, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Next, we had Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander, I mean, for a while, he's been NXT, and we thought, he was going somewhere with Javante, but well, unfortunately, he got cut as well. And do I ever see him coming back to WWE again? Maybe, maybe not. My guess is he'll probably either be in AEW, TNA, or he might work New Japan. We'll see. I know he'll be on the indie circuits somewhere. Next, we have this one was a little shocking. Sonya Deville, because of the faction that she was with Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. And so a little shocked with this one. Not too surprised. Yeah, I was shocked, but not too shocked. But I see. I can either see her either working the independents, or maybe she might go back to mixed martial arts. Yeah, she might go to MMA. She might go back to MMA and start fighting there. I don't. I mean, if she does go back to MMA, I mean, there's no way she's going to be in the UFC. I mean, the record she had in MMA. I mean, there's no way Dana White would call and pick her up. But she might go back on the MMA circuit. By the way, Sonya's real name is Daria Bento, or as Beavis and Butthead would call her, Diarrhea. Yeah, go, yeah, diarrhea, diarrhea, yeah, diarrhea. uh, Next, Blair Davenport was also released. Blair Davenport, I mean, last time we saw her was at the Royal Rumble. I mean, before then, she wasn't on TV for a while, so no, no real big surprise there that she got released. So she'll definitely be going, to Japan. Yeah, I can see her going to Japan, or she's probably gonna go back to her home country and she'll wrestle there on the Indies for a while. Next, I, Isla Dawn. Isla Dawn also got released, which is kind of a shame because her and Alba Fire, I mean, they won the women's tag team titles, and then after that, they did nothing with them. So Isla Dawn, she's gone, which is yeah, a little disappointed. But yeah, she's someone else that she'll be wrestling overseas, or might be wrestling on the indie circuit here in the United States. Giovanni Vinci. This one also a little disappointing. They did nothing with it. I mean, first they tried to give him a solo run after they first broke up Imperium, and then they got Imperium back together because they weren't doing anything with Giovanni. Then Imperium kicks him out, and then Giovanni goes on his own, and they did little to nothing with him. I mean, so yeah, I mean that's another one who's gonna wind up on the indie circuit. Probably TNA. Maybe TNA, NWA, maybe House of Glory or wherever. But I do not see him going to AEW. Next, we have the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Again, this is another shame. Even though they haven't been on TV for a while, but like when they first got let go, they went over to TNA and wrestled in New Japan, and then they came, then they came back, after AJ Styles complained about them being let go, and well, they were brought back, and then and now they got let go again. So this is also disappointing. Can I see them going to AEW? probably, but I can also see them going back to TNA, and maybe also going back to Japan. So I think the sky's the limits here for the Good Brothers here. And also, this one I was really disappointed in was Elektra Lopez. I was very surprised that she got let go because I thought, her being the female manager of El Gato del Fantasma. I mean, I really thought they were gonna do something with her, but I guess not. So I guess, I don't know where she goes from here. Maybe she'll be on the indie circuit again, but I mean, yeah, that's just sad. But WWE, they have to make budget cuts. Even with all the money they made on Netflix, they're making on Netflix. But renegotiating other wrestlers' contracts or giving people new contracts. I mean, Kevin Owens just signed a new contract. Alexa Bliss just had a new contract. So it's a money thing and stuff. But do I see any of them ever coming back to the company? Probably not. Maybe Cedric. Maybe he'll come back. We don't know. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And I'm gonna end this with some collected editions. Yep, we got some collected edition news here. First, this is the collected editions that are coming out either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, wherever you get your comics and graphic novels. From the world of Marvel Comics, we have Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 6. This includes Marv Wolfman's run on Spider-Man. Marv Wolfman, another one of my favorite writers. The collection includes Spider-Man number 18. Number. Yes. Yeah. Blah. Sorry, I messed up on that. Spider-Man 181 to 205. Annual number 13. The Spectacular Spider-Man annual number 1. We have some What If stories too. We have What If number 1, What If number 7, What If number 19, and we also have material from What If number 8. Oh, a lot of What Ifs in that one. Next, we have Daredevil by Saladin Ahmad, Volume 3, Living Hell. This one collects Daredevil from 2023, numbers 11 through 15. Yep, so I didn't read this story, but I just read a synopsis of it on Amazon. So, sounds pretty good, Next, we have Fantastic Four Grand Design. The collection includes the Grand Design story number 1 through 2 and Fantastic Four 1961 issue number 51. Oh, okay. So, for all you who are classics of the fans of the classic Fantastic Four stories, that one might be worth getting. And next, we have a trade paperback collection. Trade paperback collection of The Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe. So we're getting a trade paperback edition because there's already a hardcover of that. The collection includes Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe, and we have Marvel Universe versus Punisher 1 through 4. And I've seen it, I've heard about it, heard it's supposed to be pretty good. I've kind of been a little weary of it because I love the Punisher. I mean, the Punisher is like one of my all-time favorite superheroes, and he's so badass. But the idea of him killing the whole Marvel universe, I mean, I can see him killing a few people in there, but some of those people in the Marvel universe, the heroes and villains, some of them are pretty much immortal. So it's But I don't know. I mean, maybe somewhere down the line I'll read it. Maybe I'll give it a chance. And then finally from Marvel Comics, we have Young Avengers Modern Era, uh, Epic Collection, Not What You Think. And the collection includes Young Avengers 1 through 12, Director's Cut, and we have Young Avengers Special from 2005. Uh, I haven't read Young Avengers, so not quite sure about this. But if you have, or if you're just a, a diehard fan of the Avengers, then this is definitely the one for you. Go ahead and pick it up. Go read it. Next, we go to the world of DC Comics. We have Batman and Robin Volume 2, Growing Pains. The collection includes Batman and Robin number 7 through 13. Okay. And we have Batman Volume 4, The War of Jokes and Riddles. Collection includes numbers 25 through 32. This is another one of the Batman stories I haven't read, but kind of looks good. Next, we have DC Doom Patrol, The World's Strongest. The collection includes Brave and the Bold, number 65, Doom Patrol, number 86 through 102, Challengers of the Unknown, number 48, My Greatest Adventures, number 80 through 85, and we have Teen Titans, number 6. Oh, so we have the original Teen Titans comics. And also, this is a DC Finest as well, so a lot of these DC Finest books are coming out, and I'm actually trying to get one soon. The one I really want to get is the Teen Titans, the Judas Contract. You know, I really want to read that one. I heard it's like one of the greatest teen. Yeah, I think it's considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Teen Titans story arc of all time. So I definitely want to read that. Next, we have the Far Sector, which is deluxe edition from Green Lantern. We have uh, Far, sorry, Far Sector numbers 1 through 12. Green Lantern 80th anniversary 100 page super spectacular number 1. Oh, not really, not that much of a fan of Green Lantern, but if you are, then definitely go get it. Next, we have DC Pride. Oh wait, I just. Oh yeah, we have DC Pride number 1, DC Power A Celebration number 1, and DC Power 2024 number 1. So yep, definitely get a DC Pride. Yep, for all you LGBTQ out there. And next we have Forever Evil Omnibus. This is a Justice League and Suicide Squad story as well. The collection includes Justice League Dark numbers 24 to 29, Suicide Squad number 24 through 30, Justice League number 24 through 30, Justice League of America number 8 through 13, Trinity of Sin, The Phantom Stranger number 12 through 17, Constantine number 9 through 12, Trinity of Sin, Pandora number 4 through 9, Forever Evil number 1 through 7, Forever Evil Arkham War number 1 through 6, Forever Evil Rogues Rebellion number 1 through 6, Forever Evil Argus Argus numbers 1 through 6, and Forever Evil Aftermath Batman versus Bane number 11. Oh, sounds like a cool title there. And we also have Superman Action Comics Volume 3, Revenge of the Demon, And finally, we have from DC Comics the Boy Wonder. The collection includes the Boy Wonder series 1 through 5. So, yeah, definitely get those. And from the indie comics, we have Kill or Be Killed. We have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Electrian War. The collection includes Mighty Morphin numbers 13 through 16 and Power Rangers number 13 through 16. And finally, we have the Thunder, Thundercats, volume number 2, Roar. So, uh, not a big fan. I mean, I know of the Thundercats. I never really watched the cartoons, but I know that they're very popular, and I know they have comic books and stuff. So if you're a longtime fan of the Thundercats, you're definitely gonna want to pick this up. Also, I said that this was gonna be where I left off, but actually, there's a few things that I forgot to do, and this, and of course, my top 10. Yep, I do top 10 for comics and top 10 for wrestling. And so, this one I was supposed to do last Monday, but I totally forgot about it. And this is in honor of the Oscars that is coming up. This is my top 10 superhero animated series. Yep, doing all things superhero movies and televisions. Before I get into the top 10, some honorable mentions. We have the Super Friends, the Challenge of the Super Friends, the Superpowers team, X Men Evolution, The Incredible Hulk, 1996, and Batman Beyond. And actually, I had a little bit of a hard time taking Batman Beyond off the list because that is one of my favorite, Batman cartoons. Batman, the animated series. I mean, that's number one, and Batman Beyond, is right below there. You know, but yeah, it was hard. It was hard, but no, my list. Now, coming in at number 10, we have Justice League. Yep, the original Justice League series from Cartoon Network. And this was pretty good. I actually watched this a couple of years ago. I binge watched an entire season a couple of years ago. Um, I heard of Justice League, but even when I got cable back, I wasn't watching it. But but watching it, I was just impressed. And my all-time favorite episode of that is the two-parter where some of the members are they're transported into to alternate world where like the comic book superheroes of the 1950s, like the Justice Society. I forget the whole name of it, but it had like other comic book heroes from the golden age of comics. You had like the Catman, you had some other. There's one, the Green something. He was kind of like Green Lantern before Green Lantern, but anyways, I mean, it was just so awesome. And like my favorite part was when the female heroes, like, because remind you, this is like 1930s, 40s, and stuff like that, the golden age of comics. And women were supposed to, like, let the men talk in private, and make cookies. And she there's one part where she goes like, come on, hot girl, let's go make some cookies. She's like, I am not baking cookies. And Green Lantern's like, hey, listen, play along, we gotta get out of here. um and she like goes along with it. And also there's another scene where she goes, talk girl, she goes, come on, let's let the men talk. And she goes like, they can talk all they want. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna give you any spoilers on that episode, but you should definitely watch it. It is just an incredible episode. And Justice League, it was a great continuation of Batman the Animated Series. And Superman the animated series as well. I mean, definitely watch it. You won't be disappointed. And coming in at number 9, Justice League Unlimited. And Justice League Unlimited, I mean, that's another great, that was another great show on Cartoon Network, a nice continuation because, in the season, because in the final episode of the original Justice League, Hawk Girl, it turns out that she was like a spy for her planet, and like the other bird people would come and you know try and invade Earth, and then of course she changes her mind, and then she leaves the Justice League, and then when she comes back, there are more members of the Justice League. Thus the term the show Justice League Unlimited. There's like Supergirl, there's The Question, Black Canary, Green Arrow. I mean, there's Static. I mean, it's pretty much a who's who of heroes in the DC universe. And so when she comes back, she's not really trustworthy. And also, Green Lantern, the Black Green Lantern, by the way, um, he, he has moved on, in relationships and stuff. And there were some good episodes in there as well, and so definitely go check that out as well. I mean, I binged watched that as well, so definitely go watch that. Coming in at number 8, we have Spider Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider Man. Yep, the Spider Man 1967 cartoon. The first time I saw this was I actually rented the origin episode on a video cassette from Blockbuster, and it was like it played also another episode. It played an episode of the Spider-Man cartoon series from the '80s, and I'll get to that in a bit. But I mean, the theme song just by itself, just on the theme song alone, it deserves to be on this list. I mean, how could you not? I mean, anybody who listen. I mean, yeah, there are some good episodes and stuff like that, and but if you don't, but if you could listen to that theme song and not want to watch a single episode, not even one episode, there is something completely, absolutely fucking wrong with you. Okay, there's just something absolutely fucking wrong with you. Sorry. Number 7. Speaking of which, we have Spider Man. Yep, this is the 1981 cartoon, and this is another one that had like just great. It's just a great theme song. The down 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 down. I mean, I used to like. I mean, I used to do that theme song. I used to play, sing the theme song, as a kid, and um, yeah, I've seen some episodes. Yeah, I've seen a lot of episodes of this. I actually had one VHS of an episode. It was, I think it was called Return of the Green Goblin. It was the Green Goblin episode where the Green Goblin had come back and, you know, attacked Spider Man. He actually unmasked. Spider Man wound up unmasked in that episode, and then they and Green Goblin threatened to expose him. But yeah, I've seen this episode. I've seen that episode. Another one of my favorite was the one where Captain America was on there. Like Captain America gets kidnapped by the Red Skull, and Spider Man gets blamed for it. Of course, as usual, any bad thing that happens, it's Spider Man's fault, and Spider Man goes to find Captain America. Oh wait, it wasn't the Red Skull. It was Doctor Doom. Yeah, Doctor Doom kidnapped Captain America. But that's another great episode, and it's a great series too. I mean, it's also on Disney Plus, and actually I haven't seen that in a while. I mean, I've seen some episodes since I got Disney Plus, but I think that's another one of those things where I might have to do a binge watch. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna binge watch that one of these days. Next, coming in at number 6, Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yep, this is the Superman Max Fisher cartoons. And the first time I ever saw these, one was on an old cartoon, yeah, an old VHS tape of cartoons. And there was one with Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird was on the cover. And it had a Tweety Bird cartoon. It had Betty Boop. Yeah, that was also the first time I ever saw Betty Boop. And then it had Superman. And that one had the episode of Superman where like they go into this abandoned cave and they find this ancient cave of like birds, and Superman goes to save her and stuff like that. And I mean, I first remember seeing that and I thought it was awesome. And then later on as a kid, I actually got a few of the Max Fisher Superman cartoons on VHS. And since then, I've actually gone back and I've watched, pretty much watched all the episodes. And they were awesome, for the 1940s. I mean, it's still pretty good. I mean, like, as a kid, I loved it. And, I just love that theme song too, I mean, how could you not love that theme song, So, yeah, great cartoon series. And if you have Roku, you can definitely go on the Roku channel and you can find it and you can watch those episodes. I really recommend you watch them. Next, we have Superman, the animated series, coming in at number 5. And that is from the WB. Yep, Kids WB. And I actually remember watching the 3-part series, the 3-part episode, pilot episode, Last Son of Krypton. And yeah, I remember watching it with my brother, and I thought it was, I thought it was awesome, and, I just love the animation on there. And of course, later I found out it was from the same people who did the Batman animated series. And I thought that was cool. And also, as a kid, watching it, I would watch it on Saturday mornings and watch it in the afternoons. And then they did the New Adventures of Batman and Superman, which of course, I mean, yeah, there were some new episodes, but it was you know, but for the most part, it was also like reruns. I mean, they had the Batman Superman movie team up movie. I mean, which was incredible, and it just takes me back to my childhood when I think about this. I would say what would I say would be my all-time favorite episode of that? I would have to say it would have to be the second episode. Well, the second episode that the Toyman ever appeared in, because in that one, there was this supermodel, and nobody knows who she is. She has no past, or anything. Her name was Dorothy, and turns out Dorothy is actually a cyborg created by the Toyman. No, wait, sorry, not Dorothy. Darcy. Yeah, it was Darcy. And in Superman, it's cool how he has to fight these toys. Like there's one scene where the kangaroo tries to kidnap her, and like it's like a boxing kangaroo, and you see this kangaroo is just it's all smiles and stuff like that, and it's just just beating down on Superman, and he still has that smile. Uh, and then there was another scene where Superman goes to the Toyman's hideout, and there are these like little toy soldiers, like from the Nutcracker. They have the uniforms and stuff, and they have the bayonet guns, and they go, "Hold, friend or foe?" And they start shooting at him, and Superman blows him away with his laser eye beams, and then he goes, "Foe." I still laugh at that. But the coolest part was when he had that little fight with the little like that ninja, like that toy ninja. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was awesome. You know, because it's like first Superman is like getting his ass handed to him by this computer cyborg ninja thing, and then Superman starts to figure it out, and then all of a sudden, he beats, then he beats him. So, but yeah, definitely, yeah, but definitely go back and watch that series because we also get Supergirl, we get Steel. We also get some good villains too. We got Lex Luthor, of course. Of course, this is Wall Street Lex Luthor. Yep, this isn't the mad scientist Luthor. We get you know, the the businessman Lex Luthor. We also get Brainiac. We have Darkseid. I mean, there's a great story arc there with Darkseid, which is incredible. And there's Livewire, and then there's was it Parasite? I think that's his name. Yeah, Rudy. Yeah, so like that. So that's good as well. The Flash also makes an appearance on there as well. So definitely go check that out. Coming in at number 4, we have Spider Man and His Amazing Friends. Yeah, and the first time I saw Spider Man and His Amazing Friends, my cousins, Jeffrey and Ken, which, by the way, shout out to Jeffrey and Ken. Hey, guys. And it was, the name of the episode was like Attack of Juggernaut, I think it was. It was where Iceman and Firestar, two former members of the X-Men, they go to an X-Men party, and of course Juggernaut crashes the party and tries to, destroy Charles Xavier, who of course is his brother, and tries to destroy the old X-Men. And we see Cyclops, we got Storm, we have the I think the Beast is in there. Yeah, the Beast and Wolverine, Professor X, and also here's a key thing that not too many people know is that Firestar was actually created for the TV series. She was not an original member of the X Men, and later on, after Spider-Man and his amazing friends, she went on to be in the comics. Yeah, she went on to be in the comics, and they created a toy after her. So yeah, she was just made up just for the show. Yeah, she was made up just for the show. But I also went back and you know and watched some episodes. I mean, I've seen some episodes since then, and and those are some pretty good episodes too. Plus, that's a pretty cool theme song too. Do 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 do. Yeah, I also like it towards the end. The do 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 Spider-Man and his amazing friends. But yeah, definitely go check that out because I mean that is just it's just an amazing cartoon series. If you're a die-hard fan of Spider-Man, you will definitely love that. Coming in at number 3, we have X-Men, X-Men 92, because this came out in 92. Yep, the Fox, yeah, the Fox Kids cartoon show. Oh man, that's another kick-ass theme song. And the first time I saw that, once again, shout out to my cousins Jeffrey and Ken. Thank you guys so much. Those guys, they had when they went to Pizza Hut, they got the VHS cassette of the X Men pilot, Night of the Sentinels, which is still to this day considered the greatest episode of all time on that series. Because that was like. That was the pilot. We were introduced to Jubilee. We got some background on Jubilee. It's pretty much a Jubilee's origin story. You know, and that's when we're also introduced to Morph as well. And Morph was actually another one of my favorites as a kid. And I mean, I mean, it's just a great episode, and there's also some other great episodes too. I actually got a few of the VHS X Men episodes. I think I got them for my birthday. I think I either for my birthday or Christmas one year. I forget, but yeah, I got a few of those episodes, and also as a kid for Christmas, I do remember this for Christmas when they came out with the toy line. For in honor of the cartoon series, I got a Iceman toy. Yeah, Iceman was my favorite. Because like the thing was with the Iceman, you could put him in the freezer and he would freeze up. He would freeze up. He'd turn cold, and I thought that was cool as a kid. I was like, "Whoa, that's so badass." So yeah, definitely liked that, and I've actually gone back and watched a few episodes because of X Men '97, which, by the way, cannot wait for season two of that, and I really hope they come out with season two pretty soon this year because I really want to find out what happened after the season finale. But if you're a diehard X Men fan, you will definitely love this series because it is just incredible. And next, coming in at the number two spot, we have Todd McFarlane's Spawn. Yep. And this was created by Eric. Well, Eric Ramdowski was one of the executive producers, and he actually worked on Batman the Animated Series. And yeah, but Todd McFarlane Spawn on HBO. I mean, I remember binge watching this. I mean, I've binge watched this thousands of times, and I just love the animation, and I also just love the voice acting on this one as well. I mean, Keith David, for me, he is the voice of Spawn whenever I read a Spawn comic. I mean, that's no disrespect to Michael J. White. I mean, a lot of people say that the live action movie sucked, and I mean, I can understand why, but well, actually, I really haven't watched that movie. I gotta watch that movie again, and I'll give you a clear opinion of that. But I mean, but that voice, I mean, Keith David's voice, I mean, it's just tremendous. I mean, like, that is I mean, he does the perfect Spawn there, and the sad thing is that this only lasted for 3 seasons. I mean, 3 seasons. I mean, like they could have really done more, especially at the season finale in the series in the last episode where Spawn goes, "I want my humanity back." Like we could have. I mean, I really wanted to see what how Spawn tries to get his humanity back, and there was gonna be a fourth season, and there was even gonna be a story where like Spawn befriends a girl who's like a pyromaniac, like setting fire to places and stuff like that. So, but unfortunately, we never got that. And there was actually going to be a reboot a few years ago. There was going to be a Spawn reboot, but that never happened as well. That's such a shame. But but the 3 seasons of Todd McFarlane's Spawn is just incredible. I mean, there's a lot of colorful language, and there are some sex scenes in there. Which can be a little weird. For me, it's kind of like seeing cartoons fucking. I mean, like, eh. I mean, even when I'm watching anime and I've seen hentai, which is pornographic anime, I'm just like, it's kind of weird. It doesn't really turn me on. But anyways, there's also the funny scenes is like there's one scene with the Violator, the clown. Um, the when he's once in the first episode, he goes like, "You came back for her, Spawn. You came back for Wanda." Just I just love the way he says it. The way he says it with that voice. He just goes, "Wanda, Wanda." Yeah, and I also like the part. There was also in the other episode where like he's looking at a picture of Wanda. And he's got his hand in his pants. He's going, "Nice, tasty Wanda." And he goes, "I tell you what, Spawn, baby's got back." And Spawn he goes, "In a few seconds you're gonna be wearing that smile around your ass." And he goes, "Yeah, yeah, kiss me first." Violator, he is such a creep, man. He is really, he really is a just a fucking creep, and he was one of my all-time favorite characters on that show. Him and uh, Simon and Twitch. Simon and Twitch, I love them too. I mean, Simon is like always drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, and like eating donuts. He's like a typical, cop. So actually, I wanted to be a cop when I was younger. I wanted to be a cop. It's just so I could eat donuts. Because I love donuts. Yeah. So if I was a cop, I would definitely be like Simon. I'd be eating a lot of donuts. I wouldn't be drinking coffee or smoking cigarettes, but I'd be eating a lot of donuts. But it's a good series. Definitely go watch it. It's very dark, and not for the kids. This is not for the kids. This is for people. Well, unless you've read a Spawn comic. If you read Spawn, then definitely you can go and watch this because it's like you know what you're getting yourself into. But if you haven't, but you are curious about Spawn or you just started reading Spawn, I would say probably seventh or eighth grade. Yeah, seventh or eighth grade. I mean, by that time you should know what the birds and the bees are, or at least I thought I knew what the birds and bees were. But that's a story for another day. And finally, the number one animated series, Batman the Animated Series. I mean, let me tell you something. I loved this show. I mean, like when I was a kid, I used to go over to my babysitter's house, and there would always be an argument or a fight for Batman the Animated Series or Punky Brewster, which a little girl, a friend of mine, she loved Punky Brewster. I mean, and I didn't. I like Punky Brewster now. I've gone back and seen episodes on Peacock, and I'm like, oh, Punky Brewster was actually kind of cool, But and Soleil Moon Frye, I mean, she's a wonderful actress, and she's hot. I mean, Punky all grown up, but she's still hot. But the thing was, is that it would come on the same time as Batman, the animated series, and I wanted to watch Batman, the animated series, and there was always a fight, and it's like, I want to watch Batman, but I would watch that also at my house, and I would also watch it on Saturday mornings. Yep, Fox Kids. Oh man, I mean, I wish I could just go back to the 90s, so bad. Yeah, 90s and 2000s, because we had some great cartoons. I mean, that was the great era of like Saturday morning cartoons, the 80s and the 90s. But Batman the Animated Series, I mean, was just incredible. It was right after Batman and Batman Returns, and it was like, it had stuff for adults, it had stuff for kids. I mean, you had like the Batman from the comics. It was Batman from the movies, and a little bit of Batman from the TV series. I mean, it just had everything. And as far as uh, great episodes, too many to actually name. I'll actually have to do a countdown. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a countdown of that of my favorite Batman the Animated Series episodes, but they are amazing. I mean, I binge watched these, dozens of times. I mean, definitely go binge watch these because you will love it. I mean, you'll see why. And still to this day, it's called like the greatest, not only the greatest Batman cartoon series ever. I mean, there were some others that came after, and I mean, probably the one that holds the candle the most is maybe Batman Beyond. But other than that, no other Batman cartoon doesn't hold a candle to Batman the Animated Series. But but it's considered the greatest superhero animated series of all time. People actually say this was better than X Men, and you know what? I mean, I love X Men. Don't get me wrong. I love X Men. I also love Spider Man, the Spider Man animated series that came on Fox, and I'm actually surprised I didn't put this on my list, and also I didn't put on my honorable mention. I should have put on honorable mention on that. But anyways, it is. I mean, it is still to this day, the greatest animated series of all time. And I love X Men. I love X Men. I love Spider Man. I mean, those were some of the best uh, Fox Kids cartoons at that time. I mean, for me, for Fox Kids, it was those three shows along with Animaniacs and Tiny Toons and Bobby's World. But those are definitely my top three. And for that top three, Batman is number one. I mean, I am a Batman fan through and through. So those are my top 10. Uh, Also, let me know what you guys think. And now, finally, and we're really gonna get out of here after this. We are gonna look at my top 10 Super Brawl matches. Yep, we are in the month of February, and of course, if you were a fan of WCW, you remember that February was the month of Fall Brawl. Actually, believe it or not, Fall Brawl. Actually, the first Fall Brawl was in 1990. It was, sorry, 1991. It was May 19th. Yeah, May 19th, 1991. Yep, Kane's favorite holiday. And and then later on, it just became a pay per view that came on every year in February up until 2001. Of course, the less said about 2001 and Revenge, the better, because that's when WCW was on its last leg, unfortunately. But nonetheless, here are my top 10 matches from Super Brawl. Here, um, coming in at number 10, we have Super Brawl 8, Sting versus Hogan Part 2. Of course, this was the rematch from Starrcade 97, which had a bad ending. And then, of course, after that bad ending, with the false fast count and Bret Hart interfering and restarting the match, the belt was vacated. And thus, we got the match again. And I mean, personally, I mean, because like I saw that match in '97. Yeah, I saw their match. Well, actually, my auntie, shout out to my auntie Ree, she recorded she recorded it on VHS and she gave it to me to watch. And I mean, as a kid, I loved the match, and still to this day, as a full adult man, I can understand why people don't like it. Saying like, oh, Hogan got into too much offense and he played politics and blah 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 blah. But you know, I, but it's one of those matches that's near and dear to me as a kid. Because I loved it as a kid and I still love it to this day. I actually saw this match. I saw the whole Super Bowl 8 at a Blockbuster. I rented it at a Blockbuster when I was in middle school, and yeah, and I did see this match, and of course, Sting once again beats Hogan, of course, due to the interference by Macho Man Randy Savage, and that set up the whole battle in between the NWO between Hogan and Savage, and it's a good match. I think it's on the same level as Starrcade '97. Again, it's one of those matches. I understand why people call it bad, and stuff like that, but just deep down in my heart, I just can't say anything bad about it. It goes back to my childhood. It is what it is. Coming in at number 9 from Super Brawl 3, we have Cactus Jack versus Paul Orndorff. This was a Falls Count Anywhere's match, and Cactus Jack, Mick Foley at this time, he was already a hardcore legend, having some hardcore matches in Japan. He had let's see, he had a let's see what else. He had the Falls Count Anywhere of the Gulf Coast match with Sting at Beach Brawl, and I mean, he already had that reputation, and stuff like that. And I think, no, wait, this was, yeah, I think this was, I think sometime, yeah, this was a year, I think a year before he lost his ear in Germany to Vader. But he was already taking bumps and getting power bombed on on a bed of thumbtacks and set on fire and stuff. But him and Paul Orndorff, they had a good Falls Count Anywhere's match. Not a great one, but a good one. Definitely worth checking out. Coming in at number 8, we have from Super Brawl 1, we have Flying Brian Pillman versus Barry Windham in a tape fist match. And this was a bloodbath. I mean, this was like old school NWA tape fist. The fists are heavily taped and they're punching each other, and both men are just bleeding buckets. I mean, they are just bleeding buckets, and it's a incredible match, and it showed that Brian Pillman really could brawl. I mean, because at this time Brian Pillman was known as a high flyer, thus the name Flying Brian. He could fly, he could do all the high flying moves and drop kicks and flips, but he can really get down and brawl, and he showed it there in the match with Barry Windham, and that's one of the matches definitely you need to check out if you ever watch Super Brawl 1. Coming in at number 7, Super Brawl 2000, Ric Flair versus Terry Funk, the death match. And this was one of the worst pay-per-views from WCW in 2000. Of course, the year 2000 would be like the nail in the coffin for WCW. I mean, there would be some good gems, Booker T winning the championship. But other than that, pretty much most of a little bit of everything, little to almost everything was just shit. But this is another one of these gems here. Ric Flair versus Terry Funk. I mean, their death match. I mean, two old guys still showing that they still got it. I mean, they used tables, they used chairs, and they were just beating the ever loving shit out of each other. But they could still go. I mean, that was the cool part. They could still go, man. I mean, Terry Funk and Ric Flair, they had a tremendous match, the I Quit match. And, and that's, considered like their best match, but I think this match really doesn't get much credit as it deserves because, it was WCW 2000, everything in WCW was just totally out of whack. And, I mean, their I Quit match kind of really overshadows it. I mean, it's a wonderful match. It's one of the top Ric Flair matches of all time. But this one really gets overlooked sometimes, and it really is a great hardcore match. Definitely go out of your way to, to watch it. Number 6, we have from Super Brawl 3, Chris Benoit versus Too Cold Scorpio. And I used to watch this match on the Chris Benoit Hard Knocks DVD that came out when I was in middle school. That was one of the matches I used to watch over and over again because those two almost went to the time limit, and they just put on a great display of technical wrestling. I mean, Chris Benoit, I mean, his technical abilities mixed with Too Cold's, his technical abilities and his high flying. I mean, it was just incredible. It's a masterpiece of a match. I mean, that's one of those wrestling matches that you can look at and be like, this is just pure art. I mean, it's right up there with, Flair and Steamboat's matches from '89, Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko, their matches in ECW, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart from WrestleMania 12. I mean, this is great technical wrestling here. And in despite of however you may feel about Chris Benoit, like yes, he's a murdering bastard and stuff like that, and but I mean, but this is still a great match to watch. It's an incredible match, and definitely go out of your way to watch it. And Too Cold Scorpio does a phenomenal job too. One of the best high flyers of the 1990s. Coming in at number 5 from Super Brawl 7, we have the San Francisco death match between Chris Benoit and Kevin Sullivan. This is another one of their great matches against each other in this feud, because the feud the storyline wise was that Chris Benoit was sleeping with Nancy Sullivan, aka Woman, and that turned out to be in real life. And the two of them, they had matches against each other. They had a match at the Great American Bash, Falls Count Anywhere, where they fought in the women's bathroom, and Dusty goes, there's a lady in the man's bathroom. Look at it, there's a woman in the man dome right here in Baltimore. See the stuff though. Said I got to get some relief, baby. God, I miss Dusty Rhodes. But Chris Benoit won that match, and then they had a match on Monday Night Raw. Was that Monday Nitro? But this was during the Monday Night Wars with Raw, and because in the match at the Great American Bash, they fought in the bathroom, and then their second match in Chicago on Nitro, they fought. They were in the United Center, and they fought in the bathroom there, and then. And it wasn't even a no holds barred match. They just started fighting before the bell rang, and then they got into the ring. Sullivan beat Benoit when Benoit was trying to go for a diving headbutt, and his head hit the ring bell, and Sullivan won. And then they had another Falls Count Anywhere's match at one of the Clash of Champions. Fought in the bathroom again, and this time Benoit won, of course, with some help from Nancy. Hitting him over the head with a wooden chair, and so they fought each other in a San Francisco death match. And what happened was Jacqueline, yep, Jackie, she was with Kevin Sullivan, as a manager, and Nancy was in the corner of Benoit. So they had leather straps strapped to each other, and they were whipping each other. They were really whipping each other, just whack, 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 whack. And then Benoit and Sullivan, they were just fighting. They were fighting backstage, fighting in the crowds. And the coolest part was when, towards the end, where Benoit put Jackie on Kevin Sullivan. Benoit had Sullivan on the table, and then Jackie went to cover him, and then Benoit leapt anyway for the diving headbutt and just splashed on both of them. And the table didn't break. He just fell over the table, and they're both down. And then Benoit gets the cover, 1, 2, 3. But then both these men have to be stretchered out. Yeah, they did a stretch job. You see both guys on stretchers, and they both get loaded into the ambulance. I mean, it's a great hardcore match, one of the best hardcore matches in WCW history. And their last match against each other was at Bash at the Beach '97. That's where Dennis Rodman wrestled his first match in WCW. And Benoit won that match, but then later in the back there was a fist fight, and then of course if you watch Dark Side of the Ring, you know that's when Nancy like officially left Kevin, and just go back and watch Dark Side of the Ring for that whole thing. But it's still a great match, definitely worth watching. Coming in at number 4 from Super Brawl 2, Lex Luger versus Sting. I first saw this match. I saw a clip version of this on Deadly Venom, the Best of Sting VHS tape, and it took me years to finally watch the whole match. And this was when Lex Luger was WCW champion. He had betrayed Sting. He betrayed Sting. Of course, Sting never learns, and Lex at this time, he was actually leaving WCW. He was leaving WCW to go to first the WBF, the World Bodybuilding Federation, which Vince McMahon held, and they had like one little pay per view, and then because of the steroid controversy and stuff like that, the steroid trials and all that was heating up, got rid of it, and then Lex wound up wrestling in WF first as the Narcissist, and then as the Hulk Hogan 2.0. But anyways, these two had a match against each other. Like Lex Luger turned on Sting at the Clash of Champions, causing Sting to lose the United States title to Rick Rude, and these two had a great match. I thought this was really great. It was hard hitting, and Sting. winning his second world title, because he was like the most popular wrestler in WCW in 1991 and in 1992. He was actually the wrestler of the year 2 years in a row, and I mean that, and it's an awesome match too. Lex Luger and Sting have had many matches against each other, but I think this one is absolutely the best one. Yeah, absolutely the best one. So definitely go check that out. Coming in at number 3 from Super Brawl 3, we have Sting versus Vader in a strap match. Yep, the White Castle of Fear strap match. Of course, they did like a little mini movie of this with Sting and Vader, like Sting going to Vader's White Castle of Fear and Vader challenging him to a strap match. And the actual strap match was just brutal. I mean, like Sting bled and Vader bled too. Like first, Vader was bleeding from his from his right ear because Sting was really like hitting him hard. Really stiff, and blood was coming out of his ear. And Vader, from he was bleeding from his back from all the lashes, man. I mean, Sting was going whap, 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 whap. And I mean, just looking at that, I was just like, oh, damn. Just looking at those wicked cuts. And, Sting and Vader, they were in a big feud at this point. Vader beat Sting for the world title at the Great American Bash 92 in August. And then at Starrcade 92 in the King of Cable tournament, Sting beat Vader, and that's actually considered the best match of their feud. But I think they've gone and yeah, they've gone on to have better matches. But I can see why that's considered the best. I mean, it really is. But they've had better match. They've gone to have some better matches, in my opinion. Like this match, and of course their match at Slamboree '94, which is a match you definitely gotta see. And yeah, just a brutal leather strap match, and definitely go out your way to see this. Coming in at number 2 from the first Super Brawl, we have the Steiners versus Sting and Lex Luger. The Steiner brothers at this time, they were the tag team champions. Yep, they defeated the Fabulous Freebirds for it, and Sting and Luger, of course. Luger at this time was United States champion. Sting had lost the title to Ric Flair at a house show in New Jersey right after Starrcade 90. And so Luger and Sting, they teamed together to take on the Steiners. It was like a dream match. And the dream lived up to the hype. It really did. I mean, there's some good tag team wrestling in there, and the Steiners and Sting and Luger, there's some respect, and then it went into a fist fight, just brawling with each other and stuff, and then of course Nikita Koloff, who came back to WCW, he was in a feud with Lex Luger at this time. He had like the chain wrapped around his arm, and he goes to clothesline Luger, and Sting pushed Luger out of the way, boom, hit him in the head, and the Steiners got the win, because the referee didn't see it. Sting was bleeding, and then Sting went to the back to attack Nikita, and there's a scene where, as Nikita was talking to Tony Schiavone, and Tony goes like, "What is wrong with you, Nikita?" And Nikita goes, "Sting was at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's what's going on." Oh, hurt my voice from doing that voice. And Sting jumps him from behind, and they fight and stuff, and they even fight outside the arena. Um, but yeah, this is another great match. I mean, Sting has had a lot of great matches at Super Brawl. I mean, he's considered Mr. Super Brawl. Yeah, he's called Mr. Super Brawl, and he's called Mr. Halloween Havoc as well. Because he's also had some great matches at Halloween Havoc. He was there at the first Halloween Havoc, and he was there at the first Super Brawl. So, yeah, I mean, definitely go check out Sting's matches too. I might actually do a countdown of Sting's best matches at Super Brawl too. And finally, at number one, we have from Super Brawl number two, Jushin Thunder Liger versus Brian Pillman for the WCW Light Heavyweight Championship. Yep, there was a WCW Light Heavyweight title before it became the Cruiserweight title. Brian Pillman lost this to Jushin Thunder Liger at a house show, and Liger and Pillman, they had the rematch here. Also, Super Bowl 2, by the way, that was the the pay per view debut of Jesse the Body Ventura. Yeah, that was Jesse the Body Ventura's first WCW pay per view. Yeah, the first pay per view he ever worked. And so, anyways, and also this was the first match. This was the opening match of Super Bowl 2. And a lot of people still to this day call it, just a terrific match, and it really was, because normally in an opening match, that's like it's also considered a popcorn match where it's like, okay, this is an opening match, we don't really, we're not really gonna miss anything, let's go to the concession stand, get a popcorn, or let's go buy a T-shirt, but as the match got started and the guys were moving and the high flying stuff and some good mat wrestling as well. I mean, like nobody left. Nobody left to go get a popcorn. Nobody left to go get a T-shirt. They were all just sitting there and just watching the match. If you look at the crowd, and it is it's just a tremendous match. I mean, Jushin Thunder Liger. I mean, he's another one of my favorite light heavyweights, cruiserweights, X division type wrestlers, whatever you want to call them nowadays. He's just a legend. I mean, he's wrestled plenty of times in WCW and wrestled in New Japan, and he had that one match in NXT. I mean, he is just he's just an absolute legend, and this match proves why. And he would go on to wrestle Brian Pillman again, and they would actually wrestle. They would be the opening match in the very first episode of WCW Nitro. Yeah, they would be the very first match in the very first episode of WCW Nitro from the Mall of America in Minnesota. And Brian Pillman, of course, wins this match, and that was another one of those matches that put Brian Pillman on the map. And it's considered Brian Pillman's like best match of all time. I mean, not only in WCW but just in wrestling. Period. I mean, he also had a great match with Lex Luger at Halloween Havoc '89, and he's had a whole bunch of great matches. Earlier in his career. But if you ask anybody who's a diehard Brian Pillman fan, they'll tell you that hands down, this was the best match of his career. And it's a shame that they never really gave him the push that he really deserved. Like he never went on to become like he never just made it to the elite. I mean, of course, he would later team with Steve Austin, and and then he would be in the Horsemen. But he never became world champion, and when he went to WWF, like he never had like a great feud or anything like that. And that's kind of a shame because just looking at this match, I mean, you could just tell, you could see the potential, and you could see like, wow, this guy's really got something here. And even going back to the previous Super Brawl, like I said, the tape fist match with Barry Windham. I mean, just a down and dirty, knockdown, drag out, bloody match. I mean, like Brian Pillman, yeah, he's been in a few, like blood matches too. Even at the War Games at Wrestle War '91, where he got knocked out by Sid. I mean, like, he could really hold his own, and he's a really tough guy, and good, great wrestler. So yeah, that's another match you should definitely watch. And that will definitely do it because at the time of my recording, it is past midnight, 12:03. Way past my bedtime. Yeah, way past my bedtime, folks. I am getting old at this point. But I will be back here tomorrow. It won't be live stream, but I will be here tomorrow for Coliseum Classics. Yep, we're gonna be looking at WWF's WrestleFest Yeah, WrestleFest 1990. So make sure you all tune into that. And until then, this is Matthew Burris saying, Toodaloo, motherfucker.